Hi guys, welcome to Phoenix Flight Manual. I'm Cassie Thea. I'm going to do a reading along my twin flame journey. It's interesting how your tarot skills can develop when you have burning questions. So I, played around with, a bunch of different layouts along the way, and there's one that was like really good for me for perspective, like overall, because when you get really focused on certain aspects of a situation, you can really lose perspective. So this layout was really helpful for me. So basically what it's going to be is the divine masculine, divine feminine, and it's going to be the journey. So what, I had a card for each. What is the overall mission of this journey, purpose, intention of this journey for each, and then where are we at on that journey? Because for me it was really interesting to see where we were at in relationship to each other and what the journey was about for each other. It is helpful for perspective. Okay, that being said, here we go. So I'm going to start with the divine feminine. Overall, sometimes I just get it out before I finish my question. Okay, and for the divine masculine, the overall energy of this journey. What's the mission of this journey, the purpose for divine masculine? Okay, so this is the Earth Magic Oracle deck. So with the Oracle decks, because they're not, tarot, you then will need to kind of like, not need to, but you often draw connections to the tarot deck. So for the divine feminine, the kind of purpose of this journey is to develop and get in touch with instincts. This is the wolf card, so for me that directly connects with the moon, intuition, that sixth sense, sensitive perception, all of that. For the divine masculine, the overall purpose of this journey is to develop strength. And it brings to mind what it said in the Bible about, with just a small amount of faith, you can move mountains. I always loved that. I always loved that visual to me, like with just a small amount of faith moving a mountain. That always really spoke really strongly to me. So, and that's what I see in that card in this case. And it's interesting because the head card for the divine feminine also has mountain in the background. It's interesting. Okay, so then I'm going to pull cards for the journey. So this is kind of like past, present, future. So what I mean by future is that if this is a journey, if this is a story, if this is a path, then what is the path and where are we at on it? So we're just going to keep doing clarifiers basically. So actually I'm going to go with the divine gateway to the divine tarot for that past, present, future. So for divine masculine, what was the beginning of this journey for them? What energy were they in for the beginning of this journey? energy of the yin now? There's too many. I'm going to keep going. What energy of the yin? Oh my god, you guys. My deck just like exploded everywhere, which is hilarious. It's just like a lot of different energies coming through. So let me just try and narrow that down. Okay, for the viewers, this video is the Divine Masculine at in this journey. I have never had a shuffle go this awry before. This is very interesting. I feel like there's like a lot of different energies coming through. So let's just see. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and then what's the next step on the journey? Interesting. Okay, so then I'm going to go and do the feminine and then I'll show you the cards. So where were the Divine Feminine at the beginning of this journey? Where are they at now? What's the next step? Okay, so I'm going to do clarifiers for these two, but for the Divine Masculine, the beginning of this journey was one of joy, freedom, celebration. For where they're at right now, they're in the process of finding balance. And this is much more pertaining to give and take, because balance comes through in a lot of different cards, and this is really about give and take. In the Wildwood Tarot, it's called exploitation. So as you can see in this image, there are scales and two hands held out. There are 6 coins. One hand holds 3, the other holds 2, with that hand kind of hovering over with that other coin. So it's in the process of being balanced. And then the next step is justice. So like I said, I'm going to pull clarifiers, but just to start there. For the Divine Feminine, we have the Knight of Coins for the energy in beginning this journey. And so the Knight of Coins is often referred to as like the slow knight. But to me, this is very, very Capricorn energy, which is not, I wouldn't ever consider slow, but it can be very cautious. And I feel like the Capricorn energy that I feel that comes through with this card is the inclination to really assess things before rushing in. Going in, so you can go in with a sense of confidence, like you know what you're going into, you're prepared. Where are they at now? 5 of Wands, which refers to either inner conflict or a conflict of interest, basically, in the sense of this can also represent some kind of disharmony within a group, like family, workspace, community, but it can also represent conflict of perspectives, of beliefs. So that can be within. Maybe you have 2 different strong emotions or strong ideas that are in conflict. Or perhaps you have a strong idea that people around you are in strong opposition to. So take it as it resonates. And then the next step of the Divine Feminine is the King of Wands. And I mean, wands always represents magic. And as far as masculine, feminine within the deck, the king, as opposed to the queen, represents mastery in the sense of absolution. So even though the queen is powerful, equally as powerful as the king, he is the top tier of the ruling system. So that's like being absolutely in charge. And this, so wands represents passion, but it also represents like magic, like that life force energy. So this is not a bad place to be at all. I'm going to go ahead and do some clarifiers with the Wildwood Tarot. So the past energy or beginning of this journey, let's take a look at what was, influencing that sense of joy. That's the beginning of the journey for the divine masculine. What was coming through as joyful? What was influencing? Straight out, Two of Cups. So this is the Twin Flame card. So there's a number of cards that many readers view as soulmate cards and Twin Flame cards. To me, the Two of Cups is the ultimate Twin Flame card, even over the Lovers, because the Lovers has the connotation of the devil and temptation and lust and things like that. But the Two of Cups is all about emotion, partnership, equality, unity. And in the Wildwood Tarot, it's called attraction. But I really love the imagery here. If you see like how they have their hands met, and then the other two hands are pouring into the cups. So the cups are like representative of emotions. And that's like filling each other's cups, filling their own cups equally together. And then the joy also was about, this is death. They call it the journey in the Wildwood Tarot. But the death card represents the end of something and the beginning of something. So it's a transition. And generally, it is on a larger scale, either all across the board, or you're changing careers, or you're moving somewhere, like big changes. So that was bringing them a lot of joy at the beginning of this journey. That partnership, which really reads as the partnership itself, the experience of being in a joyful partnership, was the end of something and the beginning of something else. So most likely the end of a way of thinking and looking at life as relationships are a place of, struggle and suffering and things like that. Probably from males who, or anyone feeling into the divine masculine energy, not necessarily a male, was probably in a place before this journey began of believing that this kind of relationship wasn't available to them, if to anybody, maybe they were even not believing that it was even a real thing or even possible, but certainly not for them. Okay, and so what else was influencing this experience of joy? Okay, we have the Queen of Stones, which is the Queen of Coins. We have Eight of Stones, which is the Eight of Coins. Here it's called Skill. And we have the King of Bows, or the King of Wands. So the Queen of Coins is representative. She's very similar to the Empress in energy. And she really represents nurturing, loving, caretaker. She's depicted here as a bear because she's a fierce protector too. Like she loves very fiercely. So this was bringing them a lot of joy in this, you know, beginning of this journey. And then I'm getting from this Eight of Coins, which in the Wildwood Tarot is named Skill, that they really enjoyed this sense of growth that they were having with you. Perhaps you had similar interests in things that they wanted to explore more. Maybe you had information or insights that they were really interested in, and you were able to share that with them and kind of help feed that interest and help them grow and learn in certain areas. And that brought them a lot of joy too. And then we have the King of Wands, which, here we go. So the other thing about the King of Wands is the wand energy, as it's associated with passion, it's also associated with sexuality as well. So no doubt that was something that was probably influencing the experience of joy in this journey. So I'm going to look at what this balancing out of the give and take, what's going on with that. So let's just get some clarifiers for that Six of Coins. The Divine Masculine. Sorry, I'll do it upright first. Insecurities in reverse, which is a good sign. There's different ways that you can read the cards in reverse. To me, the fact that it's coming up with the Six of Coins, which is about balancing things out, and it's in reverse, that's telling me that they are working through insecurities, that's something that they're realizing has tipped the scales, like the sabotage the balance within themselves and subsequently what they experience. Get some more clarifiers. The Blasted Oak, which is the Tower in the Wildwood Tarot. So that indicates to me that, you know, some great revelation has helped them determine how to balance that out. Let's just see what that Tower moment was about. Three of Arrows, which is Three of Swords, which they have named here Jealousy. And this has come up in different twin flame readings for the masculine specifically. And it has come through other readings that I've watched other readers do. And the kind of consistent theme here is the spiritual strength of the female. So whether that's someone who's a female or someone who's really holding feminine energy in a strong and pronounced way, that masculine energy can feel less than in that specific arena and that specific way of that spiritual strength, that spiritual I want to use the right word, but a development, that level of development. You know, I think that with something that I have experienced myself, and I, you know, heard from both sides, expressed, not masculine, feminine, but in the context of how I'm going to say it is, I definitely know that that is a common thing where a lot of people who are on a spiritual journey or are thinking about beginning a spiritual journey or just embarking on a spiritual journey look at those who have been on it for quite some time and believe that they have some like shortcut or some kind of extra skill or ability in the realm of spirituality that has got them that far. And it's like, no, everybody has to go through it. It's like boot camp for the military, and you gotta crawl through the mud, and you gotta fall on your face, and you gotta get all cut up and bruised. Everyone's gotta go through it. And just because you're looking at someone who's like an officer now and they're in their nice dress uniform and getting a lot of respect, and you're like, well, they're just better than me. No, they had to crawl through the mud and get beaten, bruised, and fall on their face too. So that's what I'm getting from that jealousy card. So more clarifiers on what's needing to be balanced here. What process? So we have rest. So rest is short for restoration. So you would not need to restore had you not got depleted. So another aspect of this journey can be that, well, anyone who's on it, if you haven't experienced this, you're not having the same journey as most people on the twin flame journey. This journey is very depleting. You will go up and you will go down, and you will go up and you will go down. And rest is very much needed and the key to restoring any imbalances of any kind. So that's great. Then we're going to do clarifiers for this Justice card. What is that going to look like for them? What is Justice? It's just hilarious. So in the Wildwood Tarot, this is the Justice card, which is really, really funny. So I'm just going to mention some of the animal imagery here. So there's the cougar at the bottom by his feet, which also is the animal associated with the Ace of Coins, or the Page of Coins, which is the Page of Stones in this deck. And then there's a hawk in the background, which is actually kind of funny because I was just sitting outside on my steps this afternoon, and today I had like given myself permission, if you will, to kind of just do whatever I felt like doing in the moment. All kinds of things I need to get done, all kinds of things I want to get done, but it's Sunday and I just gave myself permission to just do whatever I felt like. And so I was sitting out there, it was like in the afternoon, and I was like, I feel like I might just want to sit down and meditate. And just like sit in that space and check in with the divine. And I kind of looked up at like, what do you think about that? And this hawk just flew right over my head. Like, are you kidding me? It's also my spirit animal. So, hawks represent clear vision. They are birds of prey, so they are, you know, assertive. And they are also known in the animal spirit kind of system to be the deliverers of messages. So taking that into account, I'm really getting the feeling that the divine masculine is looking to the divine feminine to I don't want to say to bring about justice, but kind of. Possibly because he does not trust his own judgment. But it could also be a message saying that he's really sitting in a place of confidence within his own judgment and is ready to bring about justice however that looks to him. So let's get some more clarifiers on that. What does justice look like to this divine masculine? What does justice look like to this divine masculine? What does injustice look like to the divine masculine? That's interesting. So, along this journey, in all my readings, I'm always referencing if you've been following the journey. What I mean by that is if you follow a lot of different readers, if you've done a bunch of research, there are strong common themes where people are just having almost identical experiences. One of which has been the runner-chaser phase. So in the runner-chaser phase, there's a lot of different elements to it, but one is the fear of choosing into accepting and embracing this journey from fear. So what I see in these two cards, so we have endurance and we have decision. Do it like that. 2 of Wands and 5 of Coins. So for me, coming up with the Justice card, it means being decisive. And to be decisive means to choose your decisions or make your choices with a sense of conviction and to stick with them, and to make your choices from a place of it's not so much a right choice or a wrong choice. It's a choice to make a considered choice so that you have the best chances of it being the best choice, and then making that choice with the knowledge and awareness that the attitude you bring to it is what makes it good or bad in the end, and not, the option itself. For example, if you're choosing between 2 different jobs and you're feeling really nervous and you're like, I don't want to choose the wrong one. Well, it's not so much about is this job better for you or is that job better for you, but once you've taken account of all the pros and cons and you've made your decision, you make the best of it, because that's what you chose, it's what's happening, and you just go with it. Obviously, if it's not working out later down the track, we're all looking for our happiness, so you would just go ahead and make the best choice for yourself at that time. But it's really about being decisive and having conviction in your choices. And then endurance, staying the course, standing your ground, weathering the storm. In the background, there's like lightning. This kid's like just got some shelter in this cave with this fire. So it's like weathering the storm, and using your wits to do so. So that's a very intentional, like, way of weathering the storm. Like, this kid, this figure has said, okay, I'm going to go to a safe place, I'm going to create a fire. Like, they're not just like out in the storm getting messed up and pushed around. They're set, they're good. So what are they choosing into to create this justice, to bring about this justice? What's the divine masculine choosing into to bring about this justice? It's just funny. When you have the same cards keep coming up, that's why it's interesting when you use multiple decks. And you see the same cards coming through in a reading, it's like really reinforcing those messages. So the first card to come out is the Queen of Bows, which is the Queen of Wands, which is interesting because for the divine feminine, we have the King of Wands. Which is a pair, you know, a pair of rulers, a set of rulers, which is like the ultimate match. And that's in that passion, that magic, that sexuality. So that's how they plan to bring about this justice, by tapping into their passion. How else? Six of Cups reunion. Also have the Six of Wands, which is named here as abundance. So to me, being that this is not in the suit of coins, it's not so material focused. Being that this is, again, wands, this is really kind of saying to me, this is more about tapping into the life force energy that creates abundance, getting in touch with that process of putting one's intentions out there, tapping into one's desire, like actively stimulating that desire so that you can use that energy to create abundance. And then again, the Six of Coins, which in this card, as I mentioned before, is named exploitation. So this is about balancing out that flow of give and take. Some pretty cool stuff here, you guys. Okay, Divine Feminine. Let's get some clarifiers on this Knight of Coins energy of the beginning of this journey. The Mirror. This is the Hanged Man in the Wildwood Tarot. So this is perspective. We're looking at perspective, and I feel like it's very interesting to me because in the back here, there is a dead body in that boat. You can't really see it, but it's like all wrapped up in gauze and being sent out, you know, like Viking style. And the way that I have it laid out, so the way that I lay out these